Oh, hello. I'm going to stick this on my CV.
What, that we've
course architecture. Course architecture and design. No?
Is that what you're going to do?
Well,
we could have done with a little cup of tea sat in the bunker, couldn't we?
I know. Be nice.
This is the first Sunday morning show we've ever done from a bunker.
And hopefully the last.
And hopefully the last. Well, good morning everybody. Welcome to another Sunday morning show. Good morning, Bernie.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, everybody.
Slightly different one.
Yeah, we like to mix it up and do things slightly against the norm, don't we? And I think we've managed that today.
We certainly have. Well, today is the Sunday before the Open Championship, the 150th Open Championship at St Andrews, and we are en route. But we had to make a quick stop, a pit stop. I mean, we were only 25 minutes away from where we're from, or 30 minutes away. So if we keep having these 30-minute stops, filming breaks, it could take us a while. Well, we're going to miss the Open. So
the Sunday show does not stop for anything. I don't care. It's the 150th Open. The people need the Sunday show, they get the Sunday show.
Well, in this Sunday morning show, whilst we head up to the Open, we thought we'd stop off at Stover Golf Club. Now, some of you will remember in videos gone past when we were at Torquay that there was the head greenkeeper there. The course manager was Jason Brooks.
Yeah.
Good friend of ours, Jason. Well, Jason. Well, let's go. Should we go and see Jason?
Let's hear Jason's story.
Let's hear his side of the story as to what's kind of gone on.
That is not a Torquay logo.
No.
I was wondering where you went, and you've come all the way over here to Stover.
Yeah, we had. We both left at the same time, I think, roughly.
It was a quick exit, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Everybody out. Everybody out.
Yeah, it looked worse on the outside. It was obviously for different reasons, totally.
Completely different reasons, absolutely. So, Jace, well, we've arrived here at Stover Golf Club, which is now your new home.
Yep.
You're the course manager here at Stover Golf Club, no longer at Torquay. Well, tell everybody kind of the reasons why you made the move.
Yeah, I mean, in all, I spent 20 years at Torquay, 17 in a row. I just felt it was time for a change, and this project came up, which is really interesting, which obviously you'll explain more about shortly to everybody. But it's a fabulous little golf course, which is a favourite of most players in the South Devon area, and it was just nice to have a chance to get to work here and try and improve it. It's been a bit run down over the years due to sort of austerity and other reasons, so it's a cracking little course.
I looked at you as more of the projects man, and I suppose, you know, there's only so much you can do with a golf club like Torquay and take it to the point of where you got it to, and did an amazing job of it. Coming over to Stover, this was an amazing opportunity, wasn't it?
Yeah, as you say, I like a project, and this is a hell of a project. There's a complete remodelling of the front nine of the golf course being done over the next 2 years, so it's a lot of work being done, and very exciting.
And what's the reason for the remodelling? What are they up to here at Stover?
Yeah, there's the road which takes you from Newton Abbot to the main A38 is being widened, and they've got to nick, not much, but a little bit of the golf course to widen it. So they've got to then they've had to buy a new bit of area and build some new holes in it to configure the course safely away from this new road. So it's a necessity for the council to do it, an upheaval for Stover, but something the members are quite excited about, really.
And today I thought we'd pop over here. We're on our way to St Andrews.
Oh, very nice.
We're on our way to St Andrews to go up to the Open. I thought we'd pop in on the way through and say hello to you. But you're going to show us around phase one of the project on the few holes that are being built, should we say?
Yeah.
Who designed it? Who put it together?
So Simon Goodman, who's one of his courses recently was in the headlines. He designed Centurion up in St Albans.
Yeah.
So that was the first live golf event.
Yeah.
And
which I've played, and it's lovely.
Yeah.
Fantastic course.
Yeah, it did look good on what I saw of it. And then we've got a company called Profusion in doing the contract, and they've been building golf courses all over Europe, so they're a fantastic contractor to work with. Nigel and his team here have built some wonderful greens, and the holes are coming along nicely, really, out there.
Okay, well, myself and Bernie and yourself are going to have a little wander now and take us through some of the holes that you're creating.
Sure. So before we venture out, you need to
There's yours.
Oh man of the people.
Look at you, Bernie.
Hey.
Look at you.
Do you want me to move any greens around or do anything? Or?
Well, probably a few words of wisdom today would be handy. Talking about the Open, and I forgot to mention this back there, but like normally you're at the Open. So what's happening this year? You're obviously too busy, or?
I'm pretty busy.
Yeah.
But I've come away from doing Opens now. I used to do. I've done I think 5 over my time.
Yeah.
Which was brilliant. But I'm off to Switzerland this year to work at that tournament.
Nice. That's your little favourite, isn't it?
That's my favourite. I've done that 3 years. It will be 3 years this year if planes don't get cancelled and whatnot. But yeah, it's amazing. One of my favourite places to visit.
But your son, Callan, he's been at the Irish?
He's greenkeeping these days. He's been greenkeeping for about 5 years now. He's currently at Wentworth.
Right.
And he did the Irish Open last week.
Oh wow.
So he volunteered there, so he's following
your footsteps. Yeah. How proud.
Yeah.
It must be quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. He's doing well.
Talk me through this hole then, Jace.
Okay, so this will be eventually the new second hole at Stover.
Right.
It's a shortish par 4, 300 yards, and the green's just this side of the hedge in the distance. Those 2 bunkers on the left and right, they're sort of more fairway bunkers. There's a bit of dead ground between them and the green in the distance. But yeah, nice little, fairly gentle par 4 after the opening. Quite decent length par 5 up the hill, and then followed by a bit of a brute of a hole, number 3.
Just looking here now, when I look up through there, and I mean it looks absolutely spectacular. Like it looks properly, and I don't know if it's just because of the construction and how you're seeing all the different layouts of the bunkers and how it's going to shape up through the trees, but it looks amazing.
Yeah, well I think this is where a lot of golf courses fall down. They try and do things in house, and this is done by a professional architect and a professional contractor. Yeah, what they've designed and created is amazing.
Just wandering up to the second green. I mean, I feel like it won't be long until we can actually hop on there and have a few 3-putts, you know?
Yeah, well, it had its first mow 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And it was only seeded 13 days ago, so it's pretty rapid.
I mean, you've got perfect weather for it, really, haven't you?
Yeah, that's it. It's been raining last couple of weeks on and off, so it's helped. And at least now it's established before we get into this hot spell, so we can pop the sprinklers on and keep it hydrated. I mean, the tricky thing was, because we're going to have brand new greens, they're not going to match the existing golf course.
Yeah.
But whatever we did, it wasn't going to match the existing golf course.
Because the existing golf course has been there years and years.
Yeah.
And when we talk about existing golf course, a lot of the time we talk about greens, don't we?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the surroundings or whatever.
No,
it's more about how the greens roll in comparison to the older greens.
That's it. And there's some old greens on there, and they're kind of push-up greens. Some are constructed differently again as well. But so whatever we did, whether we turf seeded, what have you, we just weren't going to match it up. We couldn't core them like we did at Torquay, because to get enough cores to do 5 greens, you just you have to core probably about 50 greens to do that, to get enough, and then that would match up. But ultimately you really don't want to match the old stuff to, or the new to the old, because it's these are going to be much better greens.
Yeah.
So it'd be pointless trying to put old Poa Fatchy kind of cores onto these new ones. Might as well start fresh and
then have a plan for the future.
Yeah, then we can probably subsequently then take out of play these are the old holes and start changing them to the new spec, and then we'll have a wonderful golf course in time.
Stover's always been a beautiful tree-lined golf course, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But to see that, I mean, see the shaping of that shot and to get the feel of the hole just standing on a very, skeleton tee box, should we say.
Yeah.
It just, it blends in already. I feel like it blends into Stover's golf course.
Yeah, we've got all the mature oaks all down the right-hand side of the thing, which is, Stover's dotted with lots of mature trees throughout the main part of the golf course. So it's not wide open like some new builds tend to be, wouldn't they, when they're first built?
Yeah.
And this hole is a brute. I think this is a 400-yard plus hole uphill slightly, and into the prevailing wind, I'd imagine it would be also. So
I'm just looking, I mean, moving away from the hole, I mean, I'm just looking at we talked about this as we wandered down here, but like Stover's never had a view. because it's been locked in by
so enclosed
by all the trees, which like has its own beauty. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that's not a negative, but we're looking. And you said about, you know, Stover historically has been a very wet golf course, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, look at the hills, as you said.
Yeah.
All
feeds down to what essentially is a low point surrounding them by with a river running through it. So water is going to migrate to it. But there's all this new stuff. It's all fully drained, very well built. So, you know, fingers crossed, we'll have a lot drier section of holes to use in the winter time, and then we can move on and try and rectify the problem areas on the existing course in time.
Finishing touches to the third green then?
Yeah, this is the final grading and sorting out all the levels. Yesterday all the boys are up here helping out, and we're putting some zeolite product down just to mediate into the root zone, which just helps hold on to moisture and nutrients easier, because when it's brand new root zone, everything just goes clean through it. There's nothing really for anything to lock onto, whether it be nutrients or water. It just goes clean through. So we've added that product, and then a bit of fertilizer, base feed, and now Barry here is just sorting out the final bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And then it's ready for seeding, and then probably within 10 days we'll be mowing it. It's that quick at the time of year.
And when you talk about mowing it, you're hand cutting?
Yeah. So
it's not heavy machinery going on?
No, everything to start was all pedestrian machines.
Which all takes time.
Pedestrian sprayers, pedestrian mowers, and just it's very fiddly. You know, you're having to just constantly change the height of cut, take a little bit off at a time, and just it's taking more and more time up now a little bit.
How much time are you spending now with the current 18 holes?
Yeah.
How's your time work between the two? Because obviously you've still got your contract with the club and what you're doing with the actual members and the golf course.
Yes, right. Yeah. Well, I mean, at the moment, you know, the balance is probably 90% on the main course, 10% out here. But in time, you know, this is going to get more and more for us to look after as the fairways get established and the roughs get established. It's a big area. It's probably the size of this area for these 4 holes that are in it. It probably covers, you know, 6 holes on the main course. It's a big area.
Yeah.
So yeah, the good thing is that, I mean, we can blitz the course in the morning ahead of play, and then once it gets busy, we can go on this side. There's no golfers obviously, and we've got all afternoon to fiddle around out here. So it's a nice little environment to work in. It's absolutely, you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. It's absolutely surrounded by rolling countryside. It's a lovely little spot. So this is the 4th, this is par 3.
Yeah.
It's roughly about 150, 160. It's when you get down to the green in a minute, you'll see it's quite undulating, this green. There's a real sucker pin on that right hand side. Not to be aimed at really. And yeah, it's nice sort of framed in a nice sort of bowl of trees around it. It looks nice, little par 3.
So this is this nasty little pin spot that you've managed to find up the top here, isn't it? Oh, Jace, Bernie, come over here. I'm seeing the makings of the great doctor. There's a little Mackenzie sat in there. Like, see how Reg is celebrating the Mackenzie. Yeah, the great doctor has shown himself. But this is it though, yeah? You've popped in a little. Is there a little slope supposed to go in there, Jace?
There's about 3 different levels here. You've got this little one up to the right. You've got a little one at the back there, and this lower area here. And then you got your Saturday pin position down the front here.
You mean the little drawing shot in for those that enter the comp who've got a small draw? And
I might play.
I always knew these greenkeepers set up their golf courses to hit to their shape.
I've not found a golf course that suits me yet.
No.
We had one member of staff at Torquay years ago who had a big slinging draw, and he went out changing holes and he put every pin on the left.
Back left, back left, back left.
And he pleaded ignorant that he didn't realise.
You get it slightly wrong here. Obviously you got bunker at the front, so if you get your clubbing just a little bit, we didn't quite catch it. You get it slightly to the right, you've got that runoff which will feed down towards, well, I'm assuming that will run, you can either run down there and there's a mound, it runs away from you over there. And then over the back as well, you've got...
There's a valley at the back you'll be collecting into.
Yeah, the architect is thinking every time when you get it this raw.
Yeah.
You know?
So there's a fair bit of prep to do still here, but essentially that is, that is the levels that are there are going to be the levels that you're going to be finishing on.
I think we found our signature hole.
I think we might have done, yeah.
This is it. I mean, that is going to be absolutely spectacular down there.
Yeah, it's an enormous lake down the left-hand side. You can't quite see it yet from the tee. I think there's a bit of tree clearance maybe needed to be done still, but it's an enormous lake.
Yeah.
Par 5 wrapping itself around it with a tee shot, and then it's greens right down in the corner.
Well, we're moving back to a little bit of normality. I feel like we're back on a golf course.
Right. Yeah, we've got some grass.
16th?
Yeah.
I mean, it's, to me, the 16th is still one of the prettiest holes in Devon.
Yeah.
In the county. I mean, it wraps its way up and around. The only thing my only argument for it over the years gone by is I'd like to have made it longer. Slightly longer off the tee to give yourself put driver in your hand a bit more for the bigger hitters.
Yeah.
Not that I put myself in that category, but it is a fantastic golf hole.
Yeah, well, we're in the process of making a back tee now, so it's being stretched to about 420.
You got my memo then?
Yeah, got your memo. Yeah, I don't think I'll be playing off that tee though.
But this part of the golf course is staying, yeah?
Yeah, so this is the back nine's essentially staying totally untouched.
Yeah.
And the 7th tee, which we're stood on now, is remaining intact as well, but other than that, 8 of the 9 holes on the front 9 are either going or changing.
Surveying the facility, Bernie.
Just giving my expert eye, Dan.
You've given Jason a nice bit of advice today. It's been a pleasure to watch, actually.
I've missed him, to be honest.
I've
seen him for a few months.
A few bits that you can take to the board and chat about after Bernie's input.
Well, we'll say hey where it came from, they'll be all over it.
They will be. We're talking about bunkers earlier. So this is kind of like they're creating the base for that bunker blinder in there, yeah?
Yeah, so that sits underneath the rubber crumb.
Okay, so you've got your drainage points there in the middle, and then just a load of stones that are thrown in there. And
yeah, they've got like a slight shelf, which is what they'll build the revetted turf on subsequently after the rubber's gone on top.
Okay.
And then they've got to topsoil it all around, and it's all ready for turfing. So.
And then behind you here, this is them working our way up into the par 5 green.
This is the approach to the green, yeah. So there's a few bunkers on the left, and there's a few different levels again to the green, a bit like the 4th green. A few different tiers and what have you. A lot of movement, but it's a big old area.
It's a big spot for one hole. It's a big old field for one hole.
Yeah.
Well, this kind of coming up to the green here kind of finishes off our first part of.
This is phase 1. Yeah. Is the 5th green, so yeah, 4.5 holes are sort of being tackled in phase 1.
Yeah.
To open in where are we now? So next year, probably June-ish time, give or take. See how it goes over the winter, really, with regards to how well I do my job and get it grown in properly.
Yeah. And when is phase 2 going to actually start then?
Well, as soon as this is open, then they'll be on to phase 2.
Right.
So the contractor wants us to get this open as soon as, so they can come back and get on with it.
And phase 2 is going to be more about using the older holes and reshaping those a little bit.
Rejigging the old holes, yeah. So the members will come out and play these new holes as part of a configuration, which will allow the contractor to work on some of the other holes. And then the following year, 2024, then the course will be then probably in its final configuration and a little bit of finishing off to be done then. So a couple of years away at least anyway still. Well, what do you think about that?
I really enjoyed it. I mean, I've never got into the nitty-gritty of golf course design or how things are done, and just to get a little glimpse and a little bit of an insight from an expert and someone who's involved in a massive project like that is absolutely brilliant, and hopefully people have enjoyed that at home.
Well, it's, you talk about golf course design. When I first went to college after school, not over to the States for university.
Dutchy?
Before I went down to Dutchy for college, I actually spoke. I went and had a cup of tea with a very good old friend of ours, Bob Knott.
Yeah.
Now, some of you watching this may have heard of Bob Knott. He was a very good golfer in his day. He was a member at Churston. I caddied for him. I caddied for him here at Stover in the Stover
I think
Open.
he was English seniors champion as
I
well.
don't know if he managed to get
Or
that.
he was something.
He certainly played
events,
for England
yeah.
in the seniors side of things, but he was a fantastic golfer right the way up through his amateur days. The ultimate professional.
Most professional amateur you'll ever meet.
I couldn't agree more. He literally was that. But he got into golf course architecture.
Yeah.
Bob did, and he actually went out to do some work with in Dubai. He was certainly in his last, just before unfortunately he passed away, he was doing the Dubai, some stuff out in Dubai, wasn't he? I think it was to do with the Earth course or something along those lines. But I had a cup of tea with Bob, and we sat down and we talked about an opportunity for me to possibly get into golf course architecture, but find out what the avenues were going to be for me to be able to do that. Well, that never kind of happened because golf, and I'm not that well, I wasn't the smartest kid in the class, to be fair.
No, you probably wouldn't be hanging around with me if you were.
But so since obviously being a secretary of a golf club and spending lots of time with Jason, and we have over the years spent a lot of time with Jason on the golf course, we've talked a lot about golf course design. We've talked a lot about greenkeeping.
He likes you, doesn't he?
It's one of those horseflies.
Got him.
Jason and I have talked a lot about golf course architecture. We've talked about greenkeeping side of things and how the two kind of come together, and being able to see holes, being able to. Oh, you got him, Bernie. That is a horsefly.
That's a dead horsefly.
They're not very. They bite you. They're not very nice. But yeah, we've talked about all these things and how they've bonded together, and being able to now see Jason literally in his element out here.
Yeah.
Creating from scratch golf holes, it's just great. It's fantastic to see.
It's going to be nice to revisit and sort of keep a track on the progress they make, because there's some big plans here at Stover, and I do believe if they do half of what they have in mind or what they imagine it to be, it's going to be one hell of a golf.
It really is.
And golf course.
I actually think now looking at it, and now with Jason's vision, the touches that he will absolutely put on it because he's such a class greenkeeper, this place is going to elevate up. Yeah. This place is 100% going to be, well, I'm not going to say that, but I'm going to say it. I think this could be the premier club in 5 years' time. This could be the premier club in the whole of this area. It's certainly going to hold lots of big events for the county, within the county in the southwest.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Absolutely, you can see it. You can see it all unfolding in front of you. So, what a lovely little start to the day.
Yeah.
Got up early to come and see Jay. It's always good to get out and
out and about
and see the greenkeeping side of it and the architecture side of things. Yeah. I think that's a big part of what we like to do and what we
it gives people a flavour of something different, doesn't it?
It does.
We're like Bertie Bassett's, aren't we?
Is that what we're like? We're like many things. All sorts. Licorice, all sorts. So what is on the channel this week? We're back in the Isle of Wight.
Yep.
So we're back in the Isle of Wight this week. We're creating, I think we're at Shanklin and Sandown Golf Club. So we're going to be over there for this week. But we are doing a little bit of the old behind the scenes stuff of our adventures at the Open.
Yeah.
We've got lots of things planned for the Open, but ultimately we're still 9 hours away and we've got to get up there.
Let's go.
So on that note, let's go and get ourselves a Starbucks and let's crack on. We hope you enjoy the Open Championship week. We're certainly looking forward to it. We hope you enjoy it. We hope you have a great week. And
there'll be lots on our Instagram and social media. So if you do want to see it, then come and follow us, and you'll see what we get up to.
And if you're at the Open, make sure you try and find us through. If you want to message us through Instagram or anything like that, just do that, or Twitter or whatever. We'll try and find you. Or you can head over to the campsite at the Footjoy area, and we'll be there. We'll be there.
Yeah.
We'll see everyone next Sunday.
See you next Sunday.
See you next Sunday.